Hey, what's going on, guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Man, I'm excited to talk about and review the Zoleo Satellite Communication Device today. This is something that I've been testing and using for the past several weeks since February and trying to get as much use with it as possible to give you guys the best review and information possible of my experience with this. Now, the Zoleo Satellite Communicator is new to the market, and there are lots of other great options that are creating good competition in the market for satellite communication devices, whether it's the Bivy Stick or Somewhere, or you've got the InReach and the Spot X. All of those are other options that are available for satellite communication. The Zoleo is probably the most cost-effective and budget-friendly option on the market. We'll talk about that more here as we go through the review, but I want to cover the specs, the features, and my experience with this device, give you the pros and the cons, and let you know whether or not it is worth the investment and if it makes sense for you as a user and your user type. Now, when it comes to satellite communication devices, it's really important when you are choosing a device to decide what exactly the device needs to do for you and the type of user you are. Obviously, this is a backpacking channel. We talk a lot about backpacking, but satellite communication devices are not only used for backpackers. You might be a water sports person that does kayak touring out in the ocean or big lakes. You may be somebody that does just a lot of backcountry backpack hunting. You might do a lot of other types of expedition types of things that put you in very rural areas as a climber, and you need a way to communicate with that kind of thing. So lots of different uses and user groups that are going to use these types of devices. So let's talk about whether or not this makes sense for you. Now, the Zoleo comes in at 5.5 ounces on my scale. So no, it is not the lightest option on the market. So this is primarily focused on being a messaging device. It does lack some features that other products on the market do have as a standard feature, but they really wanted to keep this simple and basic in its use for the type of user that would be using this. So I'm able to not only activate SOS on the device and send check-in messages, I'm also able to send custom messages of up to 160 characters at a time. It will send GPS location, all of that. So what's great about the Zoleo device is this is a standalone device that I can use without having to open the app on my phone to be able to send messages and check in with people or even activate SOS. So the first thing that I would do if I want to send a check-in is I will power on the device. It's got a low tone, which I am able to change that tone of how loud it is to let me know that, hey, the device is powered on. Or when I send a message and it goes out, it will make a tone that says, hey, your message is sent. As well as incoming messages, it will make a tone to let me know that a message is incoming. And I have the ability to change that from a high, low, or off, which is great if you are a hunter, for example, and you want to be able to turn off that noise while you're messaging so that you don't create any kind of issue that you would find when you're out hunting, trying to be quiet and stalk those animals. The other thing about this is once I press that check-in button, it's going to go to 2 contacts in my online account. I can set it up to only send to 1 if I want, but a maximum of 2 check-in contacts on your online account. You also have 2 SOS contacts that are required for you to put on. You can't just have 1 SOS contact. But what this is going to do is send a message that says, I'm okay with my GPS coordinates to those check-in contacts that you set up on your online account. Very easy to do, very simple to do, and it's quick, it's reliable, and it works. Then the next thing of making this a standalone device is I've got a little cover here for the SOS button that I have instructions here on the back of the device to be able to tell me how I'm able to, if I forget for whatever reason, or I'm in a situation where somebody else who's not familiar with the device needs to learn how to do it, they have the ability to activate SOS in an emergency situation. So I open that cover, push and hold the SOS button until it activates, and boom, now Geos, who services and is contracted with Zoleo, is going to make contact with you. They will message you back and forth if you have the mobile app open, but at least you are able to get confirmation that search and rescue is on their way and the SOS has been activated. So it's great to be able to know that I don't have to have my phone on to be able to send messages to let people know in my check-in contacts that I'm okay, as well as activate SOS when it is absolutely necessary and a requirement for me to be able to get out of whatever situation I'm in safely and alive. Here on the device as well, real quick, you've got 4 different LEDs that are going to light up based off of what type of use you are currently using the device for. Now, to talk about the mobile app here for a second, the mobile app from Zoleo is really well put together. It's a fantastic user experience. They have done a great job of creating something that is easy to follow based off of what you normally use every day. And I think that's really important. So when I'm sending a message and typing that out, oh gosh, I just hit the check-in button, which you have the ability to use the check-in button here on the mobile app as well without having to use the device. I can just power it on and I can do everything messaging-wise and SOS-wise here on the mobile app itself when I'm connected to the device. But when I'm ready to type a new custom message, I just pull up my contacts, which is really easy to do. And then I can also send to emails, all of that, type in my message with the same keyboard that pulls up in your standard text messaging app, all of that. So really great user experience on the app. You've got all of the information you need, ability to customize the experience for yourself, which is really, really important. I've got all kinds of device settings on here: alert volume, message indicator, tone, as well as message check interval, LED brightness, and I can also power off the device. And I can also toggle whether or not I want to include location in check-in messages or to just say I'm okay and not include the GPS location. The other thing to talk about with this mobile app is when I'm connected to the device and the satellite network, I'm able to obtain weather reports from Dark Sky. Now these are very detailed weather reports, but they are not the most ideal for every user group. Now for a backpacker, this particular weather report is going to be exactly what you need. For a water sports situation where knowing which way the wind is going to be blowing, as well as how hard it's going to be blowing for 3-4 days out, can be really important. And I don't have the ability to pull that in this particular report. It's a really cool weather report and detailed enough for a backpacker and hiker, maybe not so much for somebody that is really concerned about wind speed, wind direction, that kind of stuff. Now to quickly talk about some of the cons and the negatives about this device are going back to specific user groups. If you are somebody that relies on your device to be powered on your backpack or on your person the whole time that you're hiking to be able to track your route, as well as potentially share that on social media, similar to how the Garmin InReach Mini or the InReach does, this is not going to allow you to do that. There is no mapping or tracking feature available currently with this device. That might be something that is released in the future, but currently that is not an option with this. And they really wanted to keep this focused on the messaging aspect and sending custom messages, all of that, instead of saying that we're going to do tracking, boom, 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 all of these other features that kind of complicate the use of the device. And so I kind of appreciate that, but it's a negative in the fact that if you want a one-stop shop for everything, then you're not going to get that from this. But if you've got a GPS watch, that kind of thing, and you're not doing FKT attempts and need to share that or prove that using your satellite device, there's other options that allow you to do that. So it's kind of a give and take in my opinion. The other negative to discuss is that I don't have any way on the online account that I set up to create a custom check-in message. It is default set to say, I'm okay, and then provide the GPS coordinates if you have that toggled on in the settings of the device. But I don't have a way to create something that if I have just one check-in contact, like my wife, for example, I want probably to be able to say that I am at camp, I'm safe, and that be the message. The other really great thing about this that I want to talk about before we jump into the cost is this will update firmware remotely. That's super important. I will get automatic updates available. When I open the app and connect it to the device, it'll say, boom, update is ready, update the firmware, click, and you're ready to go. I don't have to plug it into anything. The mobile app is designed to be able to use both in cell service and offline with the satellite network. So I'm able to send like 900 plus character messages in the Zoleo app over cell service, and I can message anybody. I can send it through email. I can send it app to app communication, similar to WhatsApp and that kind of thing. So if you've got international friends, I can communicate with them easily with the Zoleo app that's free using my Zoleo account. Boom, I've got messaging that way. And then if I leave and go out of cell service, then I can connect this and send to those same threads of communication in the app using the satellite device. Okay, let's break down cost comparison of the Zoleo to inReach Mini, Bivy Stick, and the Spot X. Now, I want to just inform really quick that the Spot is the only device that we'll compare that does not run on the Iridium satellite network. All the others run on the Iridium network, and from my experience, from what I've heard from people that use Spot, it's not as reliable as the Iridium network, so just keep that in mind when we talk about cost comparison. Now, the Zoleo device is going to come in for the device itself at $199 US. So very cost effective, very budget friendly for you to get into a satellite communicator without spending $350 for inReach Mini as well as the Bivy Stick. So $150 less than the main competition out there on the market, which is great. In terms of servicing this device for a full 12-month period, if I buy this, activate it, and then run it for a consecutive 12 months on an unlimited plan, the Zoleo device comes in at one of the best budget-friendly options on the market that I have found. And so when you compare the cost of the devices against each other, it's easy to say, well, yeah, the Zoleo is the least expensive on the Iridium network. That makes the most sense, so I'm just going to do that. But it goes back to the fact that what type of user are you? Do you need tracking? Do you need these other features? And how often are you going to use the device? When you get into those kinds of questions of what do I need the device to accomplish for me as a user, that's where it really breaks down of, okay, cost may not be as important to me as the features that are available on the device. And that's really, really important. But then you also gotta consider, like I said, are you going to periodically use it, and what kinds of options do the plans from the various manufacturers and services provide in making it more or less cost effective in that case. So you've really got to dig in to the convoluted mess of freedom plans, flex plans, that kind of thing with the various devices. Now, the Zoleo becomes very cost effective when you jump down to their middle tier option on their plans, which is $35 a month. It's called In Touch, and it provides 250 messages a month for you to be able to send on that plan. 250 messages is a lot. Like, for example, with the inReach, the middle tier is 40 messages. I can spend a lot less money with 250 messages than having the unlimited plan and save a ton of money. It makes it like $9 difference or more expensive total than the Spot. Going with the In Touch plan, 250 messages, not doing the unlimited, may work for a lot of people that are going to be using this device. The other great thing And thing to note as well, that's a potential negative depending on who you are, is once you activate this, select a plan, you are locked in for 3 months minimum of service before you can suspend or freeze the account for $4 a month to then wait until you're ready to use it again for a trip or whatever to activate and then pay for the plan that you chose. So if you are worried about that, maybe look at something like the Bivy Stick that doesn't have any contract link or anything like that. But again, it goes to the comparison of what you need the device to do for you and your budget, all of that. For a $35 cost, they have this cradle kit that is available that has different attachments for you to mount and use the device differently depending on your use. You've got a 1/4-20 on the back of this particular clip that allows you to mount to any GoPro mount. You've got a belt clip, and then you've got just a loop that allows you to slide through like a belt loop or that kind of thing. It's pretty small, more like on like a mole of your backpack, that kind of thing. And all this does is drop in to this cradle, you push it back, clip it in, boom, you're ready to go. And I can attach that. I've also got the carabiner and this lanyard that's included with the device, but this cradle kit and the mounting kit that they have available for like an overlanding type of scenario where you mount it in your vehicle, those are extra costs. So guys, that's the Zoleo device. I'm really impressed with it. It's been very reliable. It's been quick to send messages. I'm just very happy with this device and think that it's going to create a ripple in the market of budget and accessible, friendly types of satellite devices. Really great. So there you go. Zoleo Satellite Communicator. I appreciate you guys watching today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe. Hope you have an awesome day. We'll catch you on the next video. See you later.